that's had a moment, or they've gone and had their DMT experience, or whatever it is that they need to shift the portals that they're waiting to open up out here inside themselves, because really they open up inside yourself first, and then you experience it out here. And that is that layover of that thing that we've talked about. Go from my little table here. I feel like a kindergarten teacher here. This thing, that layover of those portals, because they know how to open and close every single one of those, but there's more of them, and this is a layover of the real ones. So, and I don't know that for anyone else. I just know that for me, and all I know that I think is happening is the more I know for me, and I start really understanding that I'm understanding, oh, it's showing me out here what's happening in here.
Yeah.
And so I guess as a collective consciousness of people that have been, waiting for this moment, whatever that moment is, that's what you experience in times when you go into places like the pyramids.
Yes.
Okay? Because they're saying, they're saying it was a tomb, they're saying it was this, it's the Akashic records, what, it could be a lot of things. First, understand how the architecture of it worked, because it had an ability to lower and heighten water levels. So I guess at one time, whoever controls the water, since we were just talking about water, see, the conversation always gives you the answer. It's in the story.
That's right.
Okay?
That's right.
So whoever can control the waters, and another picture I'm being shown in it is that, and the connection came to me with Egypt, just when they showed us about the Panama Canal, and we were getting back to the American Canal again, or whatever they wanted to name it now,
Right.
They bought the card in Monopoly, and it says you own, you had to give it to, That's really, that's really all that's going on here. But what I saw was, I went, oh, did they use that in Egypt to make the water levels rise to get, because where did they get the technology for that?
Exactly. That's one of the questions.
I just kind of saw, and maybe I don't even know what I'm talking about. Because who knows? I mean, I never claimed to be a master of any subject. I ask too many questions all the time. Why, what, how, when, where?
Exactly. Yeah.
Anyway, I think being able to have gone there, it kind of puts me in the story a little bit, because there's like a little piece of you. I mean, we went with a group with Earth Keepers, and that was with a gentleman named James Tiburon when he was alive, and James was a really amazing human being. And if anyone wants to know more about him, go look up earthkeepers.com. His stuff is still there, and I think that group still continued on. If it was a group that built a family, it's hard to break up a strong family of, over time, which is what kind of like what we're doing with LifeWave. So I'm very excited about that.
Yeah, me too.
But anyway, it's fascinating that we're getting to see that. But here's what I have to say about it too. When we were sitting there in Egypt back then, they were already looking into they were already radaring and looking underground into all of that. There's nothing they're letting us see now that they haven't had for at least 10 is a joke. We're going to say 20 years, because it's been that long since we have been there. And they were already looking under and excavating there. There were parts of it we couldn't go into, but we were there for like 14 days, and we did a whole huge area of land in there. And
this changes everything we know about tinnitus, so if you or a loved one suffers from constant ringing in your ears, this might...
King's Chamber, and, experience that, and that's a private thing, so I'll just leave it at that, But it was fascinating, and a lot of people have gotten to have this experience, but not really in the number of human beings on the planet. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So anyone that could get themselves there before they completely close it off, you'd be smart to go. I know Carrie Cassidy's getting ready to lead a group there.
Okay.
She's been doing that for a while. That's not new to her. So anyway, plug that for her. But
Tell me more what it was like, because I would venture to say probably just about everyone listening has never been there.
it depends what you're going for. First and foremost, I'll say this. God has given me permission to do anything and everything I've ever wanted to do in this life, be it right or wrong, with confidence, knowing that He would never, ever once look at me like a narcissistic, cruel, warped, drunken father, uncle, weirdness entity being in any way, okay?
Yeah.
And ever, ever tell me, not encourage me to test everything to its limits and bring it to Him for verification.
Hmm.
So I walk boldly in this life, and I'd like to think I have through every other eternal doorway I've walked through into what someone might call a lifetime, but I live differently. I don't live to die. I live to keep living. I mean, I'm eternal. I don't understand dying. There's no opposite for eternal. When you understand it, there's no opposite for it. You live.
Amen.
Anyway, so I went there in search of answers because I've come into the now to take a look at the past, and you can't literally go into the past unless you go to ruins that are here in the now, because there really is no way to get to the past. Okay? Just like there's really no way to get to the future because you're here right now.
Right.
But so everyone says be here now, but they don't explain to you when you center yourself in the now and leave now, where do you go? Into the future, visioning, or into the past, because that's how you do it first. So you bring those ideas back into the now and you go, oh, okay, I think I'm going to go to Egypt and check out some things over there that have to do with my now, that don't kind of jive. Or why is it that I have this fascination with this? You know, why did that book just fly off the shelf? Like, literally, I swear, there had to be like somebody working in the bookshop that made these things happen to people, like with a little, you know, I don't know, because everyone has the story, but it was a silly little thing like that. And then things just started lining up. I said, God, well, if that's where I'm supposed to go. And this story I'm saying is like how everybody tells it. That's why I don't get out and like tell this story, you know. But I've just been on this amazing journey. Wherever I ask God if that's where I should go, does He want to go to Egypt with me? Are you free? I'm gonna, you know.
Are you free? And what did He say? Sure.
He said, yeah, let's go.
Yeah.
And I'm a little bit of a I grew up in a very strong family before they were able to break the family unit apart and litter it and dirty it up a little bit like they did. So where was I going with that?
Well, God had just said that He was glad to go with you to Egypt.
Yeah, but it's just about proving some things about the ancestral lies that we're in right now.
Yeah.
To be able to prove that you're not just thinking and you're knowing it's a lie, and then for God showing you it is, and then you come back into, you know, to whatever the experience is. I'm pretty mystical. That's what I was going to say. I was born into a spiritual family that was pretty strong. So, and it was a Catholic faith. I didn't have the bad thing going on. Nobody knew the Pope was a bad dude. Plus, he never visited your hometown anyway. I mean, they sent pictures of him. You know what I mean? You prayed to send some money in your little envelope, and your grandma got a picture of him to hang on her wall. And then, if you know, she was rated the good, you know. Anyway, so I didn't have all of that. They used that card later in the game because, you know, maybe it was getting too powerful and growing too fast there. I don't know. They had to control God.
Yes.
You can't let God have power. I mean, they really can't let God have power in the game.
What a thought. Yeah. So you'll control him. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You know? Anyway, that they've divided God up. Anyway, so I just never had experience. People would hear the Bible and it may go in one ear and go out the other. I don't know. It would go in my ear. It would make this whole little vision, and I'd be like, wherever that story was going on. I didn't need Disney. I didn't. That like they stole. I think they just took little kids' minds and
Yeah.
you know put it on the screen because you know wow, take all their ideas and thoughts too.
Mm.
Speaking of what we were talking about earlier about electronic devices and how.
Yes.
You know, they're not just a one-way tool, it's a two-way thing. It's always an ebb and a flow. You know, they take everything that's holy, sacred, and organic, and then they find a way to control it, you know, like just corn. Let's put some glyphosate on it, you know.
Yeah.
It's not going to hurt anything right now. That, you know, like a long time ago, but when we get that 5G going and we ignite that, man, it's inside of them, you know.
Yeah. Yes.
That's one of the ingredients for the, you know, the takeover. They just want the mind. You know why? Because it's innate for the soul to want to know the mind of God. Who doesn't want to know their Father?
That's right. Sure. Yes, absolutely.
That's the missing piece they put in everyone's sorrow story. You know what I mean? And it's just like, you know, it's always anyway. The script is heart grabbing.
Mm.
And they had to do that because when you start really looking at the creation of the human, the mind comes out of the heart. So they want you thinking before you're feeling.
Mm.
Or maybe they want it at the same time to confuse it. You know?
Yeah.
And again, it's all tied into, you know, that thing again, because color, frequency, all of that is true.
Yes.
This is true. I have some good videos that even show it and that people know it. Other religions study it and they use it against us because they want to call you a pig, a rat, a goyim. I'll just leave it at that. But you know what I mean? That's not nice. I don't know what you think you are, but introduce me to your father, please. And I, you know, if you're like me, then I'm going to say, oh, hey, yeah, that's father.
Mm-hmm.
You know, but because they can't do that, what's that about? Again, it's time for this. They keep holding this up. Let's talk about this for a minute because this is going to make you smile.
Okay.
Excuse me, there it is. Hold on, America. Hold on to America. Let me just. Okay. Oh, I was going to do this because I'm sitting.
What you're about to discover in the next 90 seconds will change.
Because they can't do that. What's that about? Again, it's time for this. They keep holding this up. Let's talk about this for a minute because this is going to make you smile.
Okay.
Excuse me, there it is. Hold on, America. Hold on to America. Let me just. Okay. Oh, I was going to do this because I'm sitting inside this giant tensor ring, and a tensor ring is just a copper wire
Yeah.
that's twisted.
Oh, wow.
Okay.
Yeah.
And they're in different sizes.
Yeah.
So like if I go like this, it like should change something. Your eye should literally catch it.
Yeah.
in and out. It's probably more noticeable on a smaller one, but it really does do that. Just like a soft light ring. I'm sitting inside of one down there. It should make me look better. No, I'm just kidding. Naturally.
Is that really its purpose, Tracy Jo? I've never heard of this. What's it for?
Yeah, it is. And a friend of ours, Peter Benson, made these. These ones are all the color of the energy centers in your body that
Yeah.
are affected by color.
Okay.
That's what they're called.
Yeah.
And they, when you sit inside of them, you can feel it. Like it's like being inside of it blocks the EMF,
Wow. Okay.
you know. But he has these listed. I haven't had them out in a while, but I saw this thing the other day, and this guy had a small one.
Yeah.
And he was showing it, you know, and you could see it. And I went, crap, I got giant ones. Why am I not using those? I put them, I used to have them out on the patio in the morning, and I would stand inside each one of them, you know, have my coffee with God. Because, you know, your morning time with God is however you want it to be. Okay?
Yes.
Tell a 5-year-old you got to spend 10 minutes with God here in your room. Do it however you want. I'll be back. And leave a camera in there and see what they do.
That's beautiful.
You know what I'm
Yes.
saying? They line up all the dolls, and they, you know what I'm saying? And so just be like that with God.
Yeah.
Not in the inappropriate time, but when is it not an appropriate time?
Exactly. Well, we are his children, so
Yeah.
that makes sense. And you have a lot of beautiful times in the morning with God too. I know you'll text and send certain things. The animals that you feed, the sunrises, just beautiful, beautiful pictures in the morning during your time with God.
And again, that's all about the seasons of your life and the time that you're in. You know, maybe when I had 3 screaming kids, I wouldn't perceive it that way. You know,
Yeah.
that's kind of an interesting thing to see a video through someone's life who actually lived at home and owned it from the beginning. You know, because that's what no one does. Who does that anymore?
Right.
My mom still lives in the home that I was taken home from the hospital into. That's very fortunate. But to time lapse it and see how you perceive something.
Yes.
Because it would change all through the seasons of your life, you know?
It
So
was.
I've just learned how to see beauty in other things because my time got empty. You know, when you have kids young and, you know, and then you have grandkids and then everyone's moved all apart. You know, you don't have barn house down the road. It'd be nice.
Yeah, it
You
was.
want your family close, but you don't want them too close. But you do want them close. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
There is such a thing as creating a perfect way. Anyway, towns aren't like that, and it was never like that. The game was to mix everybody up and shake up all the pieces, just get everybody. You know what I mean? It was all like that.
Yes.
We can change it though. We can change it by knowing and seeing. You know, some of the societies and civilizations back in time were huge, weren't they?
Yes, they were.
And they seem like they were way more family orientated than this, the way they do this.
They have so divided us in so many ways, and dividing families one way. Yes.
Yeah.
All of the moving and separation and people going their own direction.
And I don't want to sound like a bigot or nothing. The thing that's been irritating me lately, though, and it's probably one of the reasons I'm going to leave this area here.
Yeah.
But we were never really intended to stay here. It's time, is that I can't tell the difference between what an American and a foreigner is sometimes.
Yeah.
But I could tell the difference between what rude and kindness looks like.
Sure.
Okay? And I'm pretty trying not to stereotype, but even Kash Patel doesn't look nationality like an American, but he acts like one. He's like where's he from? India? What's his background? What's his nationality?
I don't know.
He's like a cowboy, though. He's like an American.
Yeah, he is. Yeah,
He still is, man.
yeah, he is.
You know, he just is. I just like
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
But some of these people are so rude,
Mm.
and I can guarantee you they are not here because they love America, the land of opportunity. They love her like what they like to call her, a country, and I hate that word.
I know you do.
They don't love her like a mother. They don't love her like a nation. Okay? They just want to come here and, use the, anyway, that irritates me, that I have issue. Like okay, so Jennifer and I went to go have lunch, went to one of the big, huge hotels, that are down in the area that, I was like, yeah, I've never been there. Show me that. That's like historical. She's like, you've never been there. And Jennifer, she knows every place. I just love
She
her.
knows the world. She's
the best grandma. And that's what she calls herself. She's not a grandma.
Grandma June. Yeah, yeah.
So we got to go down there, and we're trying to go around the back and there's all this construction. She's like, oh, I think we're going to have to go up the ramp. We're down in it, so you don't really see the bigger picture of what's really going on.
Yeah.
Excuse me. And there's a guy standing there with his hat on, and I want to just say Scandinavian because I know it's Scandinavian. I'm stereotyping again, but I've been around construction. My uncle used to own some big one, Jaeger, in California until before they sold it anyway. So he could see that we needed assistance because, obviously we were trying to go this way, and he was looking, but he was very snobbish, his energy, and I go, oh, he thinks it's too good to come over here, Jennifer. He's not coming over here. And she does her, her little auntie thing, and gets his attention, and he comes over, and he's like, can't you see? It's closed. And she's like, yes, I know. How do I go to I want to go to have lunch, take my friend to lunch. And he goes, no, the whole building, it's closed. And then he just turned around and walked away. And it was just like.
What was that? Yeah.
And really, there's I wanted to get out of the car and just go, are you having a bad day? I got a patch for you. And, kindness really gets a lot further than that. And you are in the United States of America. You know that, right? We are nice here.
Yes.
Especially to older people that need a little direction. And you seem to be like a nice looking gentleman, but boy, you're rude. And I would have walked, no, really, I wouldn't do that. I know better than to do it, but I would like to.
Attention law enforcement. You took an oath to protect and serve. In too many cities, dangerous illegals walk free as police are forced to stand down. Join ICE and help us catch the worst of the...
Stop wasting money on painful dentist visits. Try these custom snap-on veneers instead. Do you?
Hello, everybody. It's Lynn Scott Hagerman here to bring you my monthly podcast with Tracy Jo Jacob. Tracy, it's wonderful, my friend, to see you again. We haven't gotten to have any of our talks for several days. We've both been so busy.
Yeah, there's a lot going on out there.
Yeah.
Time is just melting right in one day into the next. You know what I mean? And I don't want to sound like a bigot or nothing. The thing that's been irritating me lately, though, and it's probably one of the reasons I'm going to leave this area here.
Yeah.
But we were never really intended to stay here. Is that I can't tell the difference between what an American and a foreigner is sometimes.
Yeah.
But I could tell the difference between what rude and kindness looks like. Just because somebody said something was this way doesn't mean that it has to be this way in you. We
That's right.
They made him that as a mockery. Remember that. King of the Jews, they were mocking him.
Yes, they were.
He didn't want to be a king of you pigs. He's the Prince of Peace. A prince is different. A prince probably pays a price. He does, it's in there.
Yeah.
P-R-I-C-E. If you take the N out, oh, because of his DNA, huh? Wow. So he pays the price with his blood. Haha. Yeah, better than being a king.
Yeah, it is.
So, but I do believe that, I spend time in peace. I think all of us, I don't know. I can't speak for everyone. I stopped doing that a long time ago too. It sounds like it. But when I say all of us, I mean all of me. Every aspect of myself.
Yeah.
Putting myself back together. Because whoever it was that said, all the voices in your head, you're psycho and then you got to take pills. Well, what was the girl that had all the, split personalities? But you're putting yourself back together isn't personalities. Putting yourself back together are lies that they stole from you and told you other things, like all of this right here. No, that's mine. I'll take that back. It doesn't mean that. Thank you. And no. And what else? Oh, that one? Yeah, that one's mine too. You know what I mean? That's what it means to me. Okay? Just because somebody said something was this way doesn't mean that it has to be this way in you. We met children. I have a friend, our friend, God, my names, who counsels kids. And they say that. They say, we don't have that. We don't want that. They say that.
That's interesting.
So, it is very interesting, but the United States of America is nothing but an artificial field anymore, so why would there be anything organic? I just listened to a little video where this black gentleman, sorry, I had a little thing taken off my back today, so they gave me
You did that today. Good.
Yeah,
Good.
here, I'm going to show you this. It's way more than it is. Mike patched me. It was so great. So this is what love looks like from a strong Navy SEAL. Okay.
Okay.
So he patched me. But anyway, it's got the bandage on it, but I'm going to show you.
Oh, wow. Oh, he's got your LifeWave patches all around too. That's beautiful. He wallpapered you.
He wallpapered me.
Oh, I love it.
It was wonderful. Yeah. And that was just a little, and I don't get out in the sun, but I don't know, everybody seems to be getting it, something, cancers.
Yes.
So take it off and get it good. So that's what that was. Anyway, which I'll throw I have to do this. Really, Lynn and I, no, we talk about all kinds of things. Right there where that incision is, though, that he did.
Yeah.
I have a story about these.
Yeah, you do.
And this one was cut off. This one I still have it. It's energetic. It's there. Actually, I have a picture where it comes out. It's light. It's in my head. Remember I showed you? Yeah.
You did.
Anyway,
I remember.
And the reason, this is ancestral work, because that's what the grandmother, and I have Native American that runs in my family ancestral line. So I think it's probably why as a kid I always heard the earth.
Yes.
And the birds, and the bugs, and the everything, and I just always heard it. I don't know how to say it any other. And they want you not to do that. But anyway, because maybe we weren't the fallen. Because the fallen came here and they did something they weren't supposed to do. They mated with the daughters. They were told not to do it.
That's right.
And so the aggression to me isn't against the women, it's against them.
That's right.
And those children that we've been protecting are our children. And over time, when you take a child that has two of these and you take one of these away, you get one with one, and they never can activate both of these because there's two of these, not one. And that's why they're not. Anyway, this stuff is like all probably going to make more sense when the pyramids, when some of that gets decoded more.
Yes.
Because I'm starting to see a layover for me. We talked about this before, the motherboard.
Yes, we did.
And on the corner of the motherboard over this isn't a real good picture. I'll have to get a better. Over in the corner, there's switches.
Really?
There's like switches. There's like 7 switches, and you adjust them in different ways. And when I saw under the pyramid those long columns like that, I went, and this is the thought I got. But no, and because you're allowed to have thoughts that don't make any sense. Okay, the thought I got was this: are they trying to Neuralink? Was this Neuralinked before? If they turn that on, because see, they're saying that's the halls of Amente, the temple, the halls of Amente, the mind of God, the mind, where all the information is.
Yeah.
See, when I went to Egypt, before any of this, I had some major experiences when I walked into Luxor, and Mike too, people just coming, like I come around the corner. First of all, I got pictures of orbs that were like wallpapering, like I was walking through them like
Wow.
like so many of them.
Oh, cool.
Okay?
Cool.
And when I walked into the big area in Luxor that has all the pillars in it, for me, what started happening, because this is just the way I see things, I just saw it. It just started to turn on. You could see it on the walls, the hieroglyphs on the walls. They would just turned on. They just turned on, and I was like,
Cool.
oh my God! Like it went all around the room, and it was just like.
Attention law enforcement. You took an oath to protect.
Is this the Pentium processor? Because I'm always looking for the Pentium processor
Yeah.
in the brain.
That's cool.
Because there is one, because that's what makes everything work, the Pentium processor. I'm sure I'm speaking old words because I haven't studied computers down to the nano computer that they have now.
Yeah.
But I know enough to know that I'm walking around in one of these, and so are you guys. I mean, it's just obvious as ever. And there's nothing you can do about it. But anyway, well, I don't know. I mean, maybe there is something you can do about it. Interact with it. And don't be afraid of it. I don't know. It's just that the thoughts that we're having right now that are coming in,
Yeah.
like, are we going to become the virus on the AI that is on us? Do you see how it folds into it? You have to have the thought. You have to have the. Anyway.
That is an interesting thought. I mean, very interesting.
Well,
That's crossed my mind before.
Yeah, no, we are though already.
Mm.
It's funny.
I like that.
Yeah. Anyway, so the wing thing was cool. It's fun.
Sounds like you had some amazing experiences in Egypt. I mean,
Yes, we did. We got to go to Isis's temple, the ruins that were there that they had been excavating up out of the water, because I guess that's what started making me think. I'm like, well, it's under the water? Why was it under the water? And then I started thinking, well, and then I had this crazy thought too, because
Yeah.
there during that time, and then the things you see on the wall, and you see water creatures, animal, human, and then the stories, the ancient gods, Poseidon and mermaids and all of this stuff. What if they made temples on ground and then they let the water come up so that those water beings could be in them?
Yeah.
Like they made them for them. I'm like, why are they down in the water? Like, that's really odd to me. I don't know. My mind just goes like a kid would think. And I'd love to talk with someone who really knew about it, because if they were really a historian, they would be a great storyteller, and they wouldn't think my question was stupid even at this age. They would think it as maybe whimsical, like, oh, silly woman, you don't know this, and then, not be rude to me, but explain it to me in a beautiful way, because I love a great story. Who
Me
doesn't?
too. Yeah.
Story.
Yeah. I love a good story too. That's
I
why
love
I'm fascinated by your Egypt stories.
Yeah, so there's so much there. Oh, we got to have dinner with the whirling dervish. It's a thing that you can make reservation at. But imagine the floor, just this big, huge, open wooden ballroom floor, and tables all around, as many as they can get in there.
Yeah.
And you're eating authentic food of the day, and the dervishes come out, and your dinner is fed to you in courses, so it's not like in America where everyone's in a hurry and get off my table, you're at the Waffle House.
Right.
It's like, quick,
Get up, yeah, get up.
what happens to the experience of having an experience? That's an experience, but not one I want to have. So I try not to create this. But so imagine them coming out, and you're like, oh, we're like, Trevor, so cool, he spins. He doesn't just spin. They spin for the entire meal, usually without stopping. Someone in the whole and they interchange. Some will go out, others will come in. But imagine the spinning energy. It was amazing. I mean, I can't even really tell you the food, because it was just it was just so who can spin and like this, I mean, I could do a good spin, but anyway, and the shopping, it was fun. It was just fun. It's a whole different culture. If you have to leave the United States of America, but this is home.
Yeah.
And when you come home, where'd all these people come from that aren't from home? And they don't treat it like it's home. If you went to somebody's Airbnb, there are guidelines you have to go through and a way to leave it. Okay?
Yes, that's right.
Could you please think of my America as pick up your even people that are doing work and getting paid for it, and they can't speak the language I need you to speak. First of all, I wouldn't have hired them. They were sent by whoever was fixing the construction for the damage from the hurricane for the owners of this place that I rent.
Right.
And so we basically were on site most of the time when they were repairing everything down there. But made in the USA can't get stamped on, where'd the pride and all of that go? And you can't speak English to me. That's a problem for me. Especially if I need you to stop doing what you're doing, because where's your boss? No, seriously. Anyway, I just have issues with some of that. I don't know where I was going. Get us back on course there. Sometimes
Well, you were talking about how when you came back from Egypt, and then that this is home. Egypt, it's wonderful.
Oh, about treating, yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
They don't let you act like this in their countries. And first of all, I would never go into someone else's country and act,
Yes.
I don't know.
Yes, I think that's a good point because we would not go into another country and act rudely, like you've given examples already today. We wouldn't go in and be rude and go against their culture.
Okay, I got nothing better to do. Let me be rude here at this gateway. We're trying to get over here to Bosnia and tell these guys to F off and give me back my papers. And I'm not giving you $100 to get over here. Why do each of us have to do that? You know? Yeah, try it.
Yeah,
Give them the $100, suck it up, because that's how it was when we were trying to cross over to get over to there, okay?
yeah,
But you know what? That's, at the time, that's, but what it did was you buttered somebody's bread, and if there was any problem we ever had there, which there never was, because we knew better than to give any.
right, right.
But you probably weren't harassed either. It's one of those things that would be like, if we did get, because we were always together as a group, if we did have a problem, it'd be, whatever officer, oh no, they paid the fine, okay, and they leave us alone,
Exactly.
But I mean, who would go into another country like that and would you take a vacation to check out all the jails in other countries or what? To get beaten a little bit, or I mean,
Yeah, yeah.
it's kind of silly to me.
And of course, in our country, though, people do come in and act rudely and not adhere to our culture and not respect America while they're visiting. But of course, they get away with it.
And it's allowed. I know, that's what I'm saying. And it's allowed. Like, they have the elderly people.
Join ICE with bonuses up to $50,000.
Being elderly doesn't mean not being healthy. They're not healthy because the pharmaceutical companies had a. Oh, that's what I'm saying.
And act rudely and not adhere to our culture and not respect America while they're visiting. But of course, they get away with it.
And it's allowed. I know, that's what I'm saying. And it's allowed. Like, they have the elderly people who should be healthy, really. Being elderly doesn't mean not being healthy. They're not healthy because the pharmaceutical companies had a program for them to slow them up, make them, slow them down. Because when you die, you should die sharp.
Yes, you should. It's the way
Okay.
it's meant to be.
I'm pointing here, let me get this away. Yeah, no, at least that's how I feel about it, because I know that you can.
Yes.
And we clearly, some of us clearly see what they're doing here. Gosh, I saw it when I was in Publix. Did I say this on the last show we talked?
I don't remember talking about Publix.
Where I went to go pick something up, and in the corner of the grocery store, just imagine the square, in the one corner of the grocery store is the little pharmaceutical.
Yeah.
The little pharmacist. She's